Amanda here. A lot of you know me as Tag or Zim from several online communities and forums across the internet. This is my first ever Q&A. I'll be answering 15 questions in this video from several different people across several different forums. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please remember to leave all questions for the next video in the comments on this video or across the several forums that I got the questions from to begin with. Alright, so my first question is from Jason on ProBoard Support, and his question is, which of my YouTube videos do you enjoy best? To answer your question, honestly, I've only ever watched your Mario level creation video. That being said, I thought it was decent overall, and I thought you did a great job overall with the level itself. Props. So the second question comes from Sharon from Forum Promotion. Her question was, where do you consider home? Home for me is where my kids are at. To me, a place cannot truly be considered home until all of the people you love are with you. So my home is anywhere in the world that my kids are at. As long as they are with me, I would consider that to be home. I hope that answers your question. Alright, so this next question is from Nick on ProBoard Support. What country do you want to visit the most? That's kind of a tough question for me. There's several countries that I would love to visit, like England and Australia and Haiti and several other ones. But I guess if I had to choose, I would choose Australia. I've seen amazing photos of nature and people and animals and just everything out in Australia, and it is truly one of the most beautiful places I have ever seen on screen or paper. I'd really love to visit there someday. Alright, so this next question comes from CodJScott, I hope I pronounced that right, on ProBoard Support. What TV personality annoys you the most? For current TV series, that should be relatively easy. I'm a huge fan of Stephen King's Under the Dome. And the current season has introduced several new characters, one being Christine Pierce, portrayed by the actress Marge Helgenberger. I think that's how you pronounce the name. She has some serious ulterior motives throughout the entire show from what I can see so far. And throughout the entire season, she's lied time and time again about who or what she is. So while her character personally annoys me, she's a major player in the current season, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like her character is going to be like the hit character of the show, for at least this season. Alright, so this next question comes from Teapot. He's from Forum Promotion, or she, not sure. What is your favorite and least favorite word? My favorite word would have to be giggity. If you don't know what that means, then I suggest you look it up. Any true fan of Family Guy would know exactly what that references to if they watch it on a regular basis, or if they did when it was still airing new episodes. As for my least favorite word, well, that one's a bit harder. Any word that degrades women in any kind of way is a word that I hate. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a feminist by any means. I just don't like certain words that people direct towards women. The worst one, I think, is cunt. I don't even like to say it, let alone hear it. Alright, so next question comes from Soren, a member of ProBoard Support. The question is, if you won the lottery, what is the first thing you would do? Well, the very first thing I would do if I ever won the lottery is pay off all of our debt. We are so far in debt, it's unreal, but as is anybody who lives in America anymore. The second thing I would do after that would be to hire an attorney and file and fight for custody of my other two children who are not in the house with me. There's probably 100 other things that I'd love to do if I won the lottery, but those would have to be my top two picks. Alright, so this next question comes from Thomas from Forum Promotion. If scientists ever invented a way for you to fly, would you do it? Technically, we can fly. We've got airplanes, hot air balloons, gliders, and all kinds of other objects that help us fly. Now, assuming you meant if scientists figured out a way to make people fly without inanimate objects, I doubt that I would do it. As it is, I don't like flying in airplanes or anything like that because I'm terrified of heights. So my answer to your question would be no, I would not fly. This next question for me kind of covers a controversial topic amongst everybody in the world. This question comes from Sharon on Forum Promotion. What is your #1 pet peeve? The reason I said that this kind of leads towards a very controversial topic is because my biggest pet peeve refers to hypocritical Christians. By no means am I a religious person, but I do believe in God or a higher power or whatever you want to call it. That being said, people who claim to be devout Christians who go to church every Sunday, yet they don't act like Christians at all, really, really get to me. I don't understand how you can claim to be a Christian and then turn around and willingly judge others constantly and put them down. That just makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. So yeah, hypocritical Christians are my biggest pet peeve. Alright, so this next question is a biased question from one of the administrators on the Pro Board Support Forum. This is from David Clark from Orange County, California. His biased question states, when did you start using Pro Boards and how has it impacted your life over the years? While I'm going to answer your question, I do expect for you to ask me a non-biased question for my next Q&A. That being said, for those of you who don't know, I've referred to David now for a while as my Pro Board's husband. Hopefully he doesn't mind that. It's a little inside thing. I don't even remember how it got started. I just figured I'd let you guys know that. All that being said, I began using Pro Boards back in December or earlier of 2004. So in total, I have been a member of Pro Boards for about 11 years. Pro Boards got me started in graphic and web design, specifically back when Solid Snake Designs was a huge graphic and web design forum. They closed down several years ago, have yet to reopen. Someday I really wish that they would reopen because I would totally go back and start all over. The main reason that I began learning the trade was because of Solid Snake Designs, which was a Pro Boards hosted forum at the time. I may have never gotten into graphic and web design without the existence of Pro Boards. Just a quick shout out real quick to all the admins and staff on Pro Board Support. You guys work hard and fast to effectively answer support related questions and deal with issues across the entire community with all of the members and users and all of the staff, and I am proud and honored to be a part of your community. Keep up the great work, and I can totally see you guys achieving so much very more in the near future. Alright, so another question from Teapot from Forum Promotion. What is your idea of the perfect pizza? My perfect pizza consists of chicken, bacon, pepperoni, tomato sauce, cheese, and on top of all of that, I really like the barbecue drizzle stuff that goes on top. You can order it from Pizza Hut, which is also one of my favorite pizza places to order pizza from. And if you think it sounds gross, I dare you to try it because I promise you it is not as gross as it sounds. Don't knock it until you try it. Question 11 from Thomas on Forum Promotion. What was the first graphic software you used? The very first graphic software that I ever used was Microsoft Paint, believe it or not. I wasn't very good with it. It was really hard for me to use, and then one day someone introduced me to Adobe Photoshop, and I have been using it ever since. I've tried several others like GIMP and Paint Shop Pro and C4D and a bunch of others, but nothing compares to Photoshop for me. It's easy to use, I love using it, and I've been using it for over 11 years. This is another question from Sharon on forum promotion. If someone gave you $1,000 but you are required to spend it, what would you spend it on? Assuming that I would have to spend it on some kind of material object and I could not put it away for saving for something, I would have to say that I would use it as a down payment on a new washer and dryer. Yeah, that sounds kind of, not very cool and everything, but we really could use a new washer and dryer. Ours are ancient, and we've had problems with the dryer ever since we got it. This next question comes from a new person, I should say. Owl1 from ProBoard Support. What is something you wish to accomplish in the future? There are a billion things that I wish that I could accomplish now, today, in the future, whenever. 3 things I'm going to touch base on. The first thing, and most important to me, is to get custody of my oldest 2 kids. When my daughter died in 2012, my oldest 2 kids were taken from me and given to my dad. And ever since they've been there, there's been nothing but problems and arguing and just a lot of not so cool things. And that would be the first thing that I would look forward to and try to achieve as far as a goal for my near future. The second is to continue learning and improving in various different programming languages. A lot of you know that I do a lot of graphic and web design type stuff, so I'm fluid with HTML5, CSS3, I know a little bit of JavaScript, I'm picking up on PHP. I personally would love to learn other computer programming languages or software programming languages such as C++, C#, anything really that could help me land my ideal IT job at a major company or a corporation or whatever. My third thing that I would like to try to do in my future, I guess you could say, as I've already kind of started working on this, is I want to go back to school, and I actually want to go to law school. I have a huge interest in family law, and because of a recent connection and introduction to a television series called Suits, I have I don't even know the word to describe it, but I really, really want to study business and corporate law and maybe someday become a lawyer at some major law firm. I hope that answers your question. That was more than one answer. Sorry. This next question comes from Cool. He's from ProBoard Support. Known the person for several years. What is your favorite Pokemon? Honestly, my favorite Pokemon would be Blastoise, but I never jumped on that bandwagon. I was never a fan of Pokemon. My sister loved Pokemon when she was a kid growing up. That being said, to show you how much I disliked or despised them back in the day, I almost burnt down a condo trying to set a Pokemon blanket on fire. When we lived in North Royalton, and that was like many years ago because I hated it so much. One of the reasons that I do like Blastoise is because the tortoise looks cool and has been used as the basis for several of my graphic design projects in the past. I love his colors, I love the design of him. I don't really know much about what he does, but he would have to be my favorite. Oops. Alright, so this last question comes from Jason from ProBoards, as well as CodJScott. I hope I pronounced that right. CodJScott wants me to sing, and it's not going to happen. They've already heard that atrocity, and it just isn't going to happen live on video like this. That being said, the question is, what is your favorite song? I currently have 2 favorite songs at the moment. The first one is called Firework by Katy Perry. The main reason that this song is one of my favorites is because it hits very, very close to home for me. Um, the song reminds me of my little girl who died in 2012. Um, it talks about being a fighter and um, a bunch of other things. Not going to get into too many details about it. Long story short, my daughter was very strong, and she was a fighter, despite the hand the universe dealt for her when she was born. And she fought up until the day she died. And that is why this song just reminds me so much of her. My second favorite song is called Fight Song by Rachel Platten. This song is a favorite of mine because I can relate to it 110%. I'm going through a lot of things in my life, some things I shouldn't have ever had to deal with, but I'm doing it. The song itself reminds me that I believe in myself, and I know that I'm strong, and I know that I can overachieve a lot of obstacles that are thrown at me. That being said, the song reminds me to remember that, and I know that I can continue and will continue to fight for what I believe in and what's mine.